What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 6 of 6 Zeros Live. I'm your host, Jay. And who do I have
And
with
I'm
me?
and I'm JP, back like I never left. How you guys doing?
I hope y'all doing good out there. You're not sinking under the weight of this expensive gas, man. You got to get a second job at Applebee's. You know what I'm saying? I heard they hiring. Yeah,
I was
but
thinking about
before we get
working
in this episode,
part time at CVS.
you said what? You was working part time at CVS?
Yeah, man.
What was you doing? You was a stalker? What were you?
Yeah, I was stocking shelves.
Man, tell me why y'all got the longest receipts, nigga. I be like, I'll buy some at CVS. That receipt just keep coming out. Y'all kill trees, man.
Ad targeting, man.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. I'm like, man, these receipts, it's so wasteful. But before we get started on today's episode, I want to share with you all a new feature that we have on 6zeros.net. No, I gotta say it right.
Hats,
6zeros.net.
shirts, and cool upgrades.
So what before the video starts, I want to tell you what it is. So on 6zeros.net, we added a currency system that it compensates you when you participate on the site. So when you log in every day, you get some cash. When you post, you get cash. When you create a new thread, you get cash, and then you can use that to redeem. You could redeem it and get certain things. Let's let the video tell you.
Zero Cash allows you to buy hats, shirts, and cool upgrades like username glows, thread highlights, and more. Accruing Zero Cash is simple. Every post, thread, or props earns you cash you can spend at the exchange. The exchange drop down makes it easy to see recent purchases, transactions, and see all the items you have in your inventory. I'll see you in the exchange soon. Let's make it rain.
Yeah. So JP, you made it rain yet?
I like.
Did you make it
Oh,
rain in
I
the
ain't made it rain
exchange?
yet, but I'm looking to do so. I'm
All
looking to
right,
do
I
so,
made it.
man. I'm about to buy me.
I blinked out my
Well,
username. I turned it red and got a red glow on it. So let's see what you do do it. I'm sorry, you can't buy no rims on it yet, JP.
man, I'm about to chrome out somebody's thread there, and that'll be it.
All right, so let's get started with this week in Black News. So what do we have this week in Black News, JP? You wanna do the honors?
Man, this week in Black News, we've got congratulations, family. The failing of the BNC. Thank you to Saeed Khan and collaborators. We greatly appreciate you from the likes of PBA, the Professor, Vicky Dillard, Torian Rain, and so many other voices out there, including this platform here at 6 Zeros. We appreciate you so much, and everybody that participates in independent media, especially independent Black media.
Yeah, and what I really like about this, I felt like this is a changing of Black culture. Before they would have, like 10 years ago, they would have been able to get away with this nonsense, right? It's a Black news channel in quotation marks, founded by a white man, Bob Briante, if he pronounces it that way, Briante, however, and funded by a Pakistani. And so when we changed our ideology with the help of the Black media, and I'm not including Roly Poly Martin. I'm talking about the new Black media. We shifted our mind state from what following whatever the Democrats are talking about to what's in our interest. We had that agenda, and us having an agenda made it clear that these people are not about our agenda. They put Black in the name, but nothing about it was Black. Everything about it was Democratic. Everything was about um rising tides lifts all boats, minority coalitions. It was the same old nonsense, and they were just trying to put a little spin on it and have us ingest that same nonsense. So I'm glad to see this is going away. This is an exciting time in my opinion, to be a Black American. We're seeing a shift in the tide and in the conversation, and we're seeing these idiots, these sellouts, these cowards. We're seeing them fail. I'm loving it. This is let me play It's a Celebration again. Let that rock. You hearing that, JP?
Yeah, man.
I had to screw it. You know, I'm trying to get around the algorithms. But let that
Oh yeah.
rock.
I thought you were trying to channel your inner DJ Screw for a second. I was like, okay.
Nah, I wasn't. I'm trying to change my my inner not get the channel screwed. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. All right, so move on to the JP.
Moving on to the next topic, what we have here is the return of open white supremacy. Here on your screen, you see is Arthur J. Jones. Now, Arthur J. Jones is running out of Illinois' 3rd District, uncontested. And I mean, this man has tried to run consecutive times unsuccessfully. But this time, Arthur might just get over the hump. But Arthur is not an isolated case. There are many of them around the nation and even around the globe running under the banner of just open arch white supremacy. I mean, look at our current administration right now. The godfather of our current chief officer, what was the guy's name? Help me out, Jay. What was his name? James
Which
Eastland.
one? Oh yeah.
James Eastland. So I mean, they all wear nice suits, but you got to remember where they came from. Your thoughts?
And I think the thing is like the Republican Party tried to front on him, but now that he won the primary, now they're like, oh, okay, we gotta take him seriously now. It's all theatrics and stage play. They're like, oh, he's an open Nazi. They're like, they don't really care about that. They're after whatever they're doing, they're having drinks with each other at the bar and stuff like that and talking to one another. And they're just like, hey man, I wish you weren't so vocal about it. I'm a Nazi too, actually. Actually, don't I
Mm-hmm.
so these people all see eye to eye. It's just that he's not lying about it. He's not being outright. He's not being so forthright with his hate. I mean, he's being more forthright with his hate. He's not using the coded language. And so that rubs some of them the wrong way because they're like, you're exposing who we really are. But now that he's winning or he won the primary, they're like, well, we just got to get on board. It was like Trump. When Trump was running, they were like, oh my God, he's so abrasive and all that. But when they saw the people were behind him and he had a legitimate chance of winning, I guess when the establishment said, oh, it's a go on Trump, they all got on board. All that abrasiveness, all the grab him by the pee, everybody got on Cohen Trump when they saw that he's going to be the winning meal ticket. So I can't personally with this story, like he's just a proud tradition of white supremacists and I'm not when you hear the Republicans and the Democrats talk about how white supremacy is bad, it's just
Mm-hmm.
it's just talk.
Oh yeah, it's
Party
political
thoughts.
football. It's just
Yeah,
political
exactly.
football. I mean, and the other telling case about this was that when Trump got into office, feminism almost went dead silent. That lets you
Yep.
know that that's just something that we do whenever there's a different administration in. Like look at what was it, Iron Cross, Katie Hill.
Yep.
Speaking of white supremacy, was that California District 25? She was having some type of thruples relationship with her staffers and a couple of other people, and come to find out she had an Iron Cross tattoo next to her groin.
And
Uh,
and I think that
go
to
ahead,
me
man.
that's one of the things like I feel like white women have been able to take their beef with their man and market it as a beef with white supremacy. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of people have fell for it and they think like, okay, they're minorities in the struggle with us, minorities in the struggle, but then they're like the first projection of patriarchy. They just don't like their cut of it. I think Dave Chappelle He said it so good. He was like, "You just don't like your cut. You don't care about us."
Hmm.
So we gotta keep our eyes and noses wide open. And even if she goes to the gym and does squats, brothers, just stay away. Stay away. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. You end up having to. Your mom gonna hit us up talking about reshare this tweet. I don't know where Tyrone's at. Nigga, she took you to a bonfire in the woods in Indiana. Are you an idiot?
We told you.
Nigga,
We
she took you
told
to a
you.
Klan rally. Nigga, they burnt the cross with you on it, idiot.
Oh goodness. What do we got next?
Yeah, what do we got next? He's like, man, you gonna get us cut off, man. He's like, my girlfriend's white, actually.
Oh man.
Next is the not so free media. One of the topics that was coming out, and we've seen this covered in the new black media as well, is the talk like, well, first and foremost, let me frame it the right way. Roland Martin's always talking about getting some money from the government. Every time you turn around, he's mad at the Democrats. So I'm like, man, you're not giving enough money to black journalists. So, but I think what that exposes is how the media is not really free. The media is controlled by the government, but it's administratively separated. It's not like some dictatorship where you got this military uniform wearer that's the head of state, and he's like, I own the media, I own everything, I own all the houses. It's not like that. They wear suits, but then they're going to control the media by injecting cash into them. So if you're Roland Martin and they give you $20 million, the Democratic Party, you think you're going to talk against the Democrats? No, you're not, because you want another $20 million. So it's game being ran. What's your thoughts?
Man, there's so here out here in DC, there's a specific street where it's got like I think it's like one of the letter streets. It's like K Street or something. And all of like the nonprofits and the think tanks are created on this one street. All the nonprofits with their think tanks and talking points are located on one street. And you could just throw a rock and hit them. And these people they're connected with NGOs. They're connected with other nonprofits that they set up. And then what they do is they have like former intelligence assets, and they shell them money. And that's the administrative process you're talking about. Selling the money, creating a government fund program so they can say, "Oh man, we're helping independent news media outlets. We're lifting the voice of the unheard. Um, we just want to hear opposing opinions." You're like, what? This guy sounds like Tucker Carlson. What are you talking about? Like,
That's why they got really smart. You could tell that when you research history, or if you really like history, you'll see the errors that many leaders have made in many different governmental systems and economic systems. You could see where they went wrong, and you could see how the rulers of the United States of America, or even this order overall, you can see how they're making adjustments so that they don't have the same defeat as people before them. Like, they created this huge bureaucracy or this huge administrative system, and it kind of fools people. Like we were talking about that Spider-Man meme where all the different Spider-Mans are pointing the finger at each other. We basically have a system like this where everybody's pointing the finger at each other. It's hard to see who the bad guy is. It is so vast that it's one consistent narrative. It's one consistent foreign policy, national policy that's being in effect, and it's being communicated to us by all the different media outlets, and they're using that financing, as you were talking about. They're trickling the dollars in those independent entities to control them, so that they tell the narrative, and they make the narrative look like we have a choice in all of it, but we really don't have a choice. No matter what we do, no matter who we vote for, the agenda is going to stay the same. The agenda is not going to change. And when you think about it,
if you are a billionaire or you're a trillionaire or you just have a lot of power, you're really not gonna let a new guy come in every 4 years and change stuff up. All the intelligence administration stays in there, all the different entities stay there. They come in there and brief their president and tell the president, check this out. We got interest here, here, and here. If you mess this interest up here, it's gonna have this domino effect. So if you are the president, you coming in there and you getting briefed, and I don't think you really have the power to really go in there and do what you want to do. And I'm kind of getting off on a tangent, but at the end of the day, it's like this free stuff that you think it's a mirage. The freedom is a mirage, so that you don't overthrow the entire system. They don't want it to be like the monarchy, like the British monarchy when that was pop on and popping. You could point to the monarchy and say, "Oh, gas is high because of the monarchy." Now it's like gas is high because of globalization, oh Putin and this and that and all these different things. Pardon thoughts, JP.
On this subject, as far as administrative confusion, um, there's a really good book Professor Black Truth had mentioned out of many. It's called The King, and it's about it's by Machiavelli, Niccolo Machiavelli, and it tells a story of how the monarchy operated in France and how the people were unsatisfied with how the monarchy was ruling. So what the monarchy did was they created these politicians, and the monarchy said, "Hey, you elected those politicians, so you need to elect somebody else." Well, the monarchy, what they would do is they would get these guys, run them as puppets, and run them against each other, and tell them, "Hey, these are your talking points. These are your talking points." Same thing here.
It's a stage play.
Exactly.
And then when you look at how many controls they have in place, it's like I'm not a Bernie Sanders fan at all. But if you look at how the Democratic Party did him, you can see that they control it end to end. Like people think like, oh man, you just put your name on a joint and then you go and you rally people and then you can be in the you could be the lead of the Democrats or the presidential candidate for the Republicans. It's like, no, you can't, bruh. Bernie Sanders had the college students out there deep and they still screwed them over. They have control. The two major parties are fully controlled, and then you have the electoral college. So the whole thing is controlled end to end. If they don't want you in there, they you're not going to get in there. If you're not an establishment candidate, you have no chance. And like you said, that was some good game. It's like, yo, okay, I'm the monarchy, but I'm going to put this administrative layer under me so people think that they have some voice in government, and then when something doesn't work out, then I could say, well, these are the people you voted for. Like, you need to vote better, be more understanding of the issues, research the candidates more so you know who you voting for. And it's like, in the end, it's like, no, nigga, the two candidates I'm telling you to research are my homies. And they know if they don't do my bidding, they know what's going to happen to them.
Exactly.
Like, I'm going to stomp them like some grapes, homie. You know what I'm saying? So it's genius. So I recommend everybody take some time and understand history because today is just a connection of yesterday. And there's a whole bunch of yesterdays that happened in the past and that lead up to today. So you could clearly see like why does my standard of living not change? Why does it constantly erode as we change administrations? You'll see because you're being sold a lie of freedom and having the ability to change things. You do have ability to change and you do have freedom, but you don't have freedom within the confines of the system. If you work within the confines of the system, you're only going to get the output the system is designed to give you, which is F you pay me. Every time, it don't matter, Democrat, Republican, F you pay me.
Amen.
So we're going to transition to our interview with Slink Johnson. It was an awesome interview. What did you like about it, JP?
Man, I like the game that he dropped on how you can actually navigate getting the work that you want in Hollywood. He
Yeah,
talked about how, those things, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, standing on your own too. That's what I like. Do you like? You need to have what your core values, and then don't sacrifice those core values for anything. And that's important for anyone coming out to Los Angeles. If you're coming out here, man, this is a cold place, bruh. It's liars, cheats, just all kinds of stuff. And if you don't got game, if you're not grounded in your core values, a year later you'll find yourself behind 7-Eleven doing a line of coke to try to get a gig on TV with the agent that ain't got no connection to to the show at all. So it sounds funny, but it happened. You like,
I
I
believe
did
it.
something strange for some change, and I didn't even get anything out of it. All right, so enough talking. We're going to the Slink Johnson interview. The one, the only Slink Johnson.
What it is, what it do, what it do, what it do, man.
What is up, Slink?
What's up, Rich?
Okay, that applause is going on for a cool minute. We see the Los Santos shirt. How you doing today, brother?
As well, brother. How you doing? What's happening with
Man, we are blessed, man. That brim is fly, man. We just so happy to have you, man. You're an OG in the game, and you're an OG out here in LA. So we're really excited to have this opportunity to speak with you. All right, JP, you want to take it away?
Absolutely. Now, Mr. Johnson, with yourself being from Arkansas, when did you move to LA?
When I was a little boy, I moved to Los Angeles, Inglewood, actually. As a young child, I was 10 years old.
Okay.
That's what's up. So, yeah, how was that transition for you coming from Arkansas to LA at that age? You know?
That transition for me coming from Arkansas to LA at that time, I like to say it was a bit intimidating. At the same time, it was at the right time. I was a child still, just outside of my formative years, you know what I mean? So it came at the right time. So I just came and, fell right in. But I like to think that I retained my southern sensibility at the same time. Like I was in Arkansas long enough to know and remember and get that good southern sensibility. But I came here and shortly before puberty, and with puberty comes swagger,
Exactly.
Yeah, because you moved just like, Cali, you got West Coast swag all and through. But like my mom is from Mississippi and she gave me that Southern upbringing, but I'm from the West Coast, so it's a nice blend. So I feel you on that. So how did you get into acting, performing? How'd you get into Hollywood? How'd you make that transition from, like the streets of Inglewood and LA and then moving into that? Because it's so easy for us to get into rap, but into acting, how did that work out for you?
Well, because I started rapping.
Yep, I know.
I got into acting. I started off rapping, but ultimately, I like to just say I always stayed around a group of talented people or somebody always in the know. I mean, you in LA, you know what I'm saying? You in LA, you grew up here, you know how it is. We right here in the hood, but right here interspersed in the hood, all types of beautiful people, diamond in the rough, talented people, you know what I'm saying, ambitious people that end up thriving and becoming something else. So, I just always had the right friends, man, and kind of led me in the right way. It wasn't nothing that I just thought like, yo, I want to be the actor, I want to do this, again, because I was chasing hip hop first and foremost, but this shit came for me and it worked, and I appreciate it.
That's awesome. And so one of the reasons we wanted to bring you on is because you have a lot of game and a lot of wisdom, and we wanted to just get that game from an OG about how's the best way to navigate. Okay, so Hollywood and Los Angeles, like you said, this is a place where dreams could be made, and it's also where nightmares are made too. LA is not an easy place to operate in.
we have palm trees, and you'll be right next to a beach with some palm trees, and you be in one of the thickest hoods to get your cat peeled. And then you go in the boardroom, and there's snakes and perverts and all kinds of stuff in there. So what advice would you have to someone that's coming out here? How can you navigate these streets and not let it eat you apart, but also accomplish your goals?
First of all, I say the best way to navigate is be true to yourself. Don't be trying to do no whole bunch of bullshit to fit in. You know what I'm saying? People gonna fuck with you for who you are. You know what I'm saying? So don't be doing a whole lot of bullshit to fit in. Don't be aligning yourself with these gangs and sectors and sections and things of that nature. Don't do that, man. Look, first and foremost, just be true to yourself. Be real with yourself, man. Be real with yourself.
Yeah, so you think that being grounded, well, what if you don't know who you are and you come out here and you're like, I'm 18, I'm 19, I'm still trying to find myself, but I know I want to be in acting. Do you feel like it's easy to still stay grounded and be true to yourself when you're around all these environments and someone wants you to take some drugs or you got to do whatever something strange for some change? What advice would you have to the younger cats?
You know what, Jamar? I'll just say again, man, motherfucker, you know right from wrong. Come on, man. You know right from wrong. You go out here and toot that shit if you want to, nigga. You seen enough documentaries. You see what go down. You know what I'm talking about? You go out there and be a dickhead if you want to, man, but you know right from wrong. You feel me? And
Most deaf.
I don't know, man. Niggas be out here doing some dumbass shit. What work for one nigga might not work for another nigga. You gotta dig that. You see this nigga over here? He over here shining and flossing, shooting that powder and shit, having his way, pushing these nice foreign whips and shit. That might work for that nigga. You don't know what he got going on behind the scenes. You over here trying to be like another nigga. You gonna fuck around and lose, man. You know what I'm talking about? Because you don't know everything going on in that nigga mix, man. Be true to yourself, man. Know when to say no. Know when to go home, man. You know what I'm talking about? Understand that everything you do on this internet lives forever. You do some dickhead shit or put a dickhead in your mouth or something and it's on camera, it ain't going nowhere, nigga. All right? Be mindful of what you do. That's the difference between this generation and, you know, the generation before, you know, because we didn't have all these cameras and things. So some we did the same dumb shit that a lot of kids do today. But the point is, it ain't documented. You niggas is documenting y'all shit and it ain't going nowhere. Be mindful.
Hey, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, just be mindful, man. Think about the future, man. You know what I'm saying? You're 24 right now. You don't give a fuck about nothing. You buck wild. You big. You just don't give a fuck. You out here having your way. Trust me, man. 12 years later, 36, you're going to feel a lot different about your life. But just, you know, stay true to yourself, man.
Yeah, he go run for politics, and then what he did for his record deal is going to leak.
Exactly.
Yeah. With that said, what do you think are some of the biggest misconceptions people have about entertainment?
That everybody you see is getting a lot of money.
True.
You know, everybody automatically, you see them on TV, you see them on video, you see them on some type of. Man, everybody ain't getting money, even more so nowadays, because anybody can film and produce and put some shit out there. So it ain't always a whole lot of money, man. Like, for real, fame come way before the money. Niggas be really famous before they be actually really rich. Like, They might be famous and, you know, they better off than they was before they were famous. You know, that might be the case. But they not rich at all, like myself. I don't consider myself super famous either, but I know I'm no longer anonymous. But I know I'm not super famous. But anyway, people be, hey, quit counting niggas' pockets, man. Stop counting niggas' pockets.
Amen. Hey,
but let me ask you, it you know, especially like in LA, how you were talking about how people be rolling. A lot of people, these people be perpetrators, so they be broke. Or they let's just say they have a 6-figure lifestyle, but then they're
and that's why the people had a misconception. You know, a lot of people, but you gotta understand that it's show business and it's a business of showing some shit. You know what I'm saying? So you know, a lot. We live here in Los Angeles, man. And you gotta understand, we live in such close proximity to Hollywood. A lot of that Hollywood shit gonna trickle down to the niggas in the street. You know, meaning it's a lot of fakeness, a lot of niggas out here perping in the street. We live in the land of illusion, Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? So These motherfuckers is perping like a motherfucker, but that's what get that's what get the fans the wrong idea, man. You know what I'm saying? You walking around here with this motherfucking bullshit on, man. Just be real with yourself and be real with your fans and be recognized and respected for your art as opposed to your art over your asset.
Yeah, I like that you said that. That's one of the main points that I want people to take away, especially people that's coming out here to make it big in show business. It's so much fakeness out here in Hollywood. It'd be like a dude trying to be. He say he's gonna put you on. He's an agent or whatever. No network, nothing. It's lies upon lies upon lies out here. So you got to be grounded in who you are. And you got to have the ability to ask the right questions to uncover if dudes out here is real or if they fugazi.
It takes some learning, Jamar, and a lot of times, like for myself, man, what helped me out is, first of all, like I say, being true to yourself, you know what I'm saying, being real with yourself. And second of all, not having expectations. See, these niggas in Hollywood will gas you up. They'll tell you all kinds of shit. Nigga, I got the nigga Tyler Perry and Kevin Hart gonna come together. I'm gonna sign you. Nigga, they be having this. Nigga, all that shit be some bullshit until somebody hit my Cash App or a contact hit my email. You know what I'm saying? But then, I also say don't take it personal too. When you're making your way through this game, don't take this shit personal. Niggas is fake acting. They be with that bullshit. They blowing your dick one day and they kicking you down the next. So you know what I'm saying? That's just what niggas do, man. That's just what they do. Don't take it personal. Don't let them gas you up when they tell you, oh, you the hottest, you the greatest. Be confident and take that what you want. But don't let these niggas gas you up, man. Just keep your head down and stay grinding, nigga.
Are there any like egregious examples you've seen, like maybe like when Black Jesus was running and then you seen people switch after? Have you had any egregious examples of that in your life?
Oh, absolutely. None that I would necessarily like to, specify. However, I have seen very egregious examples and very extreme shifts in, the way people deal with you over certain things. You know what I mean? When nigga Black Jesus was on TV running, everybody wanted to be around, but soon as the season over, it's like, hey, who Black Jesus, who? But that's just, that's just the nature of the business, man. That's just what it is, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, man. Where the money at?
Yeah, for sure. So do you feel like you being a black man, do you feel like what impact has that had on you in the industry? Anyone try to make you wear a dress or do a prison dance or sequence?
You know what? I think how can I put this? I don't want to sound no kind of way. How can I put this? Hey, them niggas know who to get at. Put it that way. They know who to get at and who not to get at. So you know what I'm saying? I'm cool with that. I'm cool.
Hey, that's real talk. Hey, if you ain't see Slink in person, I'm 6'4", okay? I'm the tall nigga around everybody I know, but I'm not the tall nigga around Slink. And then he'll have a brim on, so that's another 2 feet on his.
Hey, Jamar, I know not even, and you're absolutely right. We are vertically inclined. We've all vertically gifted, fellas. However, man, Jamar, I feel like it ain't even on that tip. You know what I'm saying? It's just the way you stand, the way, your personality, the way people get at you. They know how to holler at you, man. They know how not to. You know what I'm talking about?
That's true. Slink said my government name like 3 times on here. I'm trying to duck.
Is we live?
No, we're not recording. I'm messing with you.
Okay, blurp it, but put that part in there, but blurp it every time I say your name. Okay, blurp it.
Yeah, we're not live. Yeah.
Yeah, man, but I'm just a smooth operator out here on these streets, man. Just trying to, take care of the family, man, and make something out of nothing. You know what I'm saying? Keep it 2 feet on the turf and staying on this side of the wall. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. JP?
Absolutely.
JP, what's up, nigga?
Pardon?
What's
He
up,
said,
nigga?
nigga.
I'm good. So recently you've done a stand-up. How does that differ from the traditional roles you played in the past?
Stand-up comedy, well, it's just an entirely different job, my guy. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's just an entirely different art, entirely different craft. You know what I'm saying? And I feel blessed to be able to do both and be recognized and accepted. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's definitely some dope shit, man.
You stated that you were new to it too, and when I saw you perform, I'm like, man, you're such a natural out there, man. And it was funny. You also said some wild shit on there. How was that? Like, was it difficult? Like, from an artistic standpoint, how are you able to encapsulate everything you are into your comedy so easily? You know, it's a whole nother form. You got to figure out how to express yourself and the timing and all that. How did you get to that point where you made it so effortless?
Well, I'm still learning. I'm still learning, Jay. I'm still learning. You know, every day. You know, every time I'm on stage, I'm in class, and I do consider myself fairly new because a lot of my peers have been doing stand-up for 20 years. You know, some of these guys you might not be very familiar with, but very, very respected in the comedy community. You know what I'm saying? People have been. You know, I talked to some guys like, yeah, I've been doing comedy since 2001. I've been doing comedy since '98, and it's like, again. I think I've always been a charismatic person, you know what I'm saying, a jovial type of person. I've always been a character, a humorous person. However, I haven't always been a stand-up comedian. And therefore, I feel like, I'm new to the game, when a lot of my friends are tenured, 15, 20 years, I'm humbled, you know what I'm saying, to be, in the presence of, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, this nigga has some jokes about kids and relationships and stuff that I was just, if I would, my lady was looking at me like, laugh at that.
Say, man, look here, man. Next time, I ain't gonna even say that. I was.
All right, I'll be there next time, though. So I know next time I'm gonna see you next time. All right, so about Black Jesus, it's cult classic. Any information on Black Jesus? We out here waiting, Slink.
Hit them white people at Adult Swim. We emailing white people. Said, dear white people, we want more Black Jesus.
I mean, at least just have Black Jesus come back with some disciples, please.
I wish that were the case, JP. I sure wish they come on, man.
And the last segment we're gonna do. Really appreciate your time, man. We're gonna do 6 questions in 60 seconds. All right.
Well, let's do it.
There we go. We got the music going. All right. So, question number 1: what's your favorite hood movie?
My favorite hood movie. Oh, shit, Snow on the Bluff. That nigga's crazy.
Yeah, that was it. Oh, man.
Favorite barbecue in LA?
Probably Phillips or Woody's.
Okay, Woody's. This is a classic. Yeah. All right. Clippers or Lakers?
Clippers or Lakers?
Neither one of them niggas.
Who you rolling with?
Neither one right now. I mean,
no, I'm saying in general now.
Okay, LA, man, Lakers, baby.
Okay.
Lakers.
You were thinking of an Arkansas team?
Nah.
Chargers or Rams?
Titans.
All right. iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Okay, JP's a green bubble nigga. When you text him, it come up a green bubble.
Hey, you know what? I'm not a snob, man. I don't care personally, but I got an iPhone. My whole ecosystem is Apple now. I switched over probably about 8 years ago.
Cool.
Yeah,
cool.
It's not a snob. It's when you send group messages, it always breaks up when you add JP to it. Last, Malcolm or Martin?
Malcolm.
Okay, and why?
because Malcolm openly wasn't with that bullshit. Martin wasn't with that bullshit either, but he was trying to tell niggas, be cool. But on the low, he was like, man, we got to get these crackers. But Malcolm was like, hey man, y'all gonna cut that bullshit out.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
awesome. Yeah, I'm on that. I'm on that too. I love Malcolm. I love both of them, but like you said, Malcolm gave that more fortified stance and let them know, like, yo, don't try me. And if you do try me, there's gonna be consequences. So to close out, what's some what do you got going on? Where can people check you out at?
Okay, first and foremost, if you want to get with me, you want a speedy response, you want to hear from your boy, you want to hear, hey man, hit me up on Cash App, and that's $Slink Johnson. You can see it right there next to a nigga name. You know what I'm talking about? Or if you want to reach me more conventionally, you can find me on all your social networks at Slink Johnson. You know what I'm talking about? Holla at your boy. I got a couple movies coming out, Kings of LA. I got Apocalypse shit playing on Tubi like right now. God damn it, Sally's playing on Tubi right now. Social Disturbance on Tubi right now. I just finished a movie called Fire. Oh man, I got a bunch of shit going on. I'm about to shoot another movie next week. Man, I got a cartoon I'm working on. Stand-up comedy. All kinds of shit. There's a bunch of shit going on, man. Stay with me, man.
Yeah, thanks, Slink. And for y'all listening, he dropped some game on you. He said if you want to get in contact with him quickly, hit his Cash App. The Black Authority gave some game the other day about that. Money is about goodwill. When you break that bread, then I know you serious. If you're not breaking bread, you just talking.
You just
break
talking,
some
man.
bread out here.
Absolutely.
All right, well, thanks a lot, Slink. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it, man. You have a good evening.
Much love, man. Shout out to the 6ZEROS live stream. Fuck with your boy. Smoke yours.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Slink. See ya. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that interview. It was awesome. It was cool chopping it up with Slink. Thanks a lot, Slink Johnson. On below you'll find ways to follow him if you never heard of Slink Johnson. So next we're gonna go into the Zero Down. And then the Zero Down is where we talk about certain threads on 6zeros.net. And the one we're talking about today is prepping for a spring garden. You want to take us away, JP?
Yeah. So Sapphire had created this thread where she talked about she was preparing a spring garden, and she wanted to know any tips or tricks that she used. And I just know that when I was preparing a garden, that I had properly irrigated it. I put it in an area that would get enough sun, and one of the cheats that I had was if I knew I wasn't gonna be able to water my plants, hopefully it was a rainy day, I put it next to a gutter so that the gutter would run water into the garden itself and water all of the plants. I think it's very important to have a garden yourself, not just for flowers, but for plant life, because the cost of living is shooting up every day here in America and all around the world. So it's literally the cost of food can price you out of where you want to live. With a lot of the different YouTube channels, you can find you can create a garden out of a dang Gatorade bottle or a bookshelf, and you can also set it on top of a fish tank. I mean, there's a multitude of ways of doing this stuff.
So how was your wheat crop once you cut it? Once you cultivated it, was it good? Was it some good weed?
Oh yeah, it was a oh damn. Really, man? Anyways.
I was being I throw that out there. You almost told on yourself. You were growing cucumbers, but
Yeah.
one of the things is gardening is a life skill, and I personally haven't put enough time into it. My mom is like a master grower. She knows how to grow so many different things, and that's something I need to pull from her before she transitions. I haven't really had a lot of space to plant, but what this thread has taught me is that you can grow anywhere. Like JP said, you can grow in a Gatorade bottle. This dude is growing in tubs. You know what I'm saying? So, um, she look at where she's growing. People are growing stuff anywhere and everywhere. So we really don't have an excuse, and we really gotta learn how to grow. Because when you look at geopolitics, when you look at how things are going, the war between Russia and Ukraine, our American standard of living is degrading as already. But with us transitioning from a unipolar to a multipolar global world, with China being an actual China could actually bark on the United States now. You know what I'm saying? And that is going to be a game changer. So, fam, let's not wait too long to learn how to plant. These are going to be valuable skills. There's going to be some of us that are not going to be able to eat steaks anymore. Once things get really bad, you're not going to be able to eat a steak because in order to eat a steak, you might have to kill a cow. That's a game changer right there. When you can't just go to the
Exactly.
grocery store and get a filet mignon, you got to actually kill something to do it. So, a lot of y'all or a lot of us in general is gonna have to eat plants. We gonna be vegans by force. But if you can't plant, nigga, you dead. If you ain't got no crops, you dead. You know what I'm saying? This next time, it ain't gonna be like, I don't think it's gonna be like the soup lines, the Great Depression. It's gonna be worse. And so you got to be prep yourself, learn how to live off the land. We don't know how to live off the land. We take from the land, but we don't live off the land, and we don't live with the land, and we don't live with the life forms on the planet. So go check out this thread. There's a lot of good game in it. I need to make sure I'm checking out this thread even more. Um, I've been in the streets too much, and I'm not talking about the streets, the real streets. I'm talking about the streets, which is the sub form on 6 zeros. So I've been there a little too, but I've been ripping and running the streets, man. Hopping up in the new black media. I need to hop up in that farming thread. What's your favorite subject? I mean, your category of 6 zeros, JP.
Man, my favorite so far has been the Technoverse. Just
Okay.
not just the video game portion, but knowing uh, different forms of technology that are coming. We discussed how the IRS they just dropped Real ID. They discontinued it because of outcry about people not wanting to give up biometrics, water irrigation, how different computers are coming out, the price of self-sustaining drive is going to go up here shortly after it drops. So I like the Technoverse.
Nice. If I had to pick a favorite category, I'm gonna have to pick the cookout right now. But when we expand, I'm gonna open up the message for serious conversation. So I'm letting you know, when I open up the message, don't be coming there with your typos, man. Go learn how to type. Then you come in there because that's gonna be against the code of conduct in the message. But that's gonna be my favorite topic. We got to keep growing it. We're about to hit 1,000 users. Once we get once we get about like 3,000 users, maybe we'll open up the message, have really serious debates and discussions. And I love debating. I'm a debater. I'll debate anything. I'll debate a nigga at a winery. I remember I was at a winery one day chilling. Some Nigerian dude walked up and said some I forgot what he said, and I checkmated that nigga. He couldn't say nothing. I'm like, nigga, you in California drinking wine, please. Please, nigga. Yeah, I checkmated him. He said something slick about black Americans, and that nigga got filleted. That nigga got stomped on like some grapes at the winery. He had to respect it. He was like, damn, I never came across a wild nigga like this before. Um, um, Yeah, so everybody knows if you say anything slick about black people, I don't care where we at or who we with, it's going down. So that's going to be the message. The message is going to be that place for us to verbally spar one another. Um, and when we get the Democratic shields, you're going to have to send them to the message. Like, go in there and proselytize for your favorite Democratic politician there, and you're gonna get ate alive.
And then delete
All
it.
right. So that's the 0 hour. What's your closing thoughts for today's episode, JP?
Oh man, take in everything questionably. Think about what's being told to you and see if it's actionable information or if it's not.
Yeah, that's that goes into critical thinking. I think we talked about this a couple episodes ago, but man, really critical think. Like this is not necessarily a bad thing, and but I remember it was like last week. Someone put up a GoFundMe for Mason, Tennessee, and it the whole description was just the background on Mason, Tennessee, and it said we need to raise $600,000. And they tag 6 zeros in, and I'm like, yo, you don't say anything about what you're gonna do with this money. And then people were just donating to it, and it's like use critical thinking, like ask those questions, question everything, but question it the right way. Don't some people like to question just to question, but question to see. Like the question I ask is like, okay, where's the money going?
Hmm.
Are you raising 600,000 so that you can pay Patrice Cullors to do a two-step outside the governor's office? Because I don't want to contribute to that. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Are you? You never know. And black people are just giving their money up, and you don't know where it's going. Always think critically, people. Just always question the information, and then respect your body, respect your brain. Um, be be aware of what you're consuming through your ears, through your mouth, through your nose. Just be conscious of what you're ingesting, because if you're listening to, like, let's say you listen to the popular YouTuber that has a questionable um disposition towards women, if you're listening to that every day, the you know, the dude that wants women, that wants to be a woman, I think if you listen to that every day, it's subconsciously it's gonna sink in. You might think it's entertainment. Then you find yourself with a fanny pack and some extra tight ass jeans on. I'll wear tapered jeans, but one day you gonna have some extra tight ass jeans on. You're gonna have a Michael Kors belt because you can't afford the Hermes, and you're gonna have the Michael Kors belt out, and you have a tight ass, and you'll get the Michael Kors from Nordstrom Rack, like the one that didn't sell at all. And you'll have that shit on, and you're gonna be barking at ladies, and and it's gonna be because you ingested that crap all damn day. You listen to this dude bark on fat ladies. Like, nigga, get your life together. Nigga, you know why women don't cooperate with you? Because you broke, nigga. You got
Wait,
nothing to offer.
why are you barking on fat women anyway? That's like punching down.
I know, it's like why you over here barking on a lady with 3 kids and she's on welfare? Like, nigga, like
She knows how
life's
bad
already
she got
barking
it.
at her. Nigga, life's barking at her. Nigga, I got
Mom,
no time for.
mom, I want a Happy Meal.
Yeah, like who's the nigga that got her pregnant? Let's talk about that nigga.
Yeah, and he knows he down bad, so you don't gotta. They heard you the first damn time.
Yeah, exactly, nigga. Like, so be careful what you listening to. Like, that's why I don't like being around. I don't like being around dudes that ain't got no ambition. I don't like being around dusty people. If you don't feel like you need to wear some clean shoes and a decent outfit, like I just don't even want to be around you. I like premium stuff. So if you want to be premium, if you want to be on the next level, surround yourself with that kind of conversation. uh, Surround yourself with that type of dialogue. Make sure you're ingesting that. And as JP said, if you know that you want to be in a certain position in life, you need to vet the people that you're going to let talk to you. Vet them, see what they do, see how they move. And then once you vet them and see they really move like that, then start ingesting their information. Just because a nigga got an Hermes belt and a fanny pack I just straight up, I wouldn't want to follow that nigga. Period. But just because someone has a Hermes belt, that don't mean they who they really say they are. So vet your sources. Always vet your sources, man, and stop barking on single mothers and all that. Don't leave them alone, nigga, and then handle your business. Take care of your kids. Don't be one of these niggas making single moms. All right. And with
Correct.
yeah, and with that, we're gonna conclude today's episode. Episode 6 live. It was fun. Hope it was entertaining, and hopefully next week I don't have a cold because I sound like Gonzo out here, man.
Man, I'm so sorry you feel like that, bro. I hope you
Man, it's
you
this
can.
bipolar weather out here in California, man. It's hot, it's cold, it's kind of cold, it's kind of hot. You know.
Well, hopefully, Pumbaa, you can get away from the water hole, and next week you'll be clear of air.
You was waiting to drop that one. I wish you had that Nike headband on. Like I said, you was looking like you was playing women's tennis. It's just so y'all know, we was doing a rehearsal yesterday, and this nigga had a headband on. This nigga looked like Serena Williams.
Whoa! I look better than Serena.
Okay, you look like Venus, nigga. Okay, is that better?
Yes, I love it.
He had his twisties coming out. He looked like he was just sitting on one of them head warmer things.
Anyways,
This nigga JP, when he see me in person, he gonna catch the fade. He gonna be like, nigga, we need to just box it out real quick for all them jokes, and then we could be cool. I box, nigga. I box though, nigga. So you get when you in between CDL classes, get the boxing going. Cause my jab, I got my jab hurt. My jab be making niggas just question what they doing. I ain't even. I be hitting niggas with jabs. They be like, nigga, why you doing this, man? Why? I'm like, nigga, I'll punch you at 10%. They be like, nigga, why you doing this, man? I gotta work tomorrow. I'm like, nigga,
what's
you
my
gotta
credit
tell me.
score?
I know I'm saying you like that.
What's my credit score?
Nigga, I was hitting niggas with my jab. I'm like, nigga, I ain't even give you the cross yet. Let that cross hit. I hit a nigga with a cross one day. I seen his knees buckle. That was such a satisfying feeling. Then the next week he gave me a concussion. Shit just
Oh,
yeah, I hit that nigga so hard, though. That nigga's knees buckle. I felt so I felt so successful in that moment. Cause he's a
did you
big
get?
ass dude too. He big ass 250 pounder out. Bop. I hit him with a jab cross. The jab stunned him a little bit. When that cross landed, he like fell into the ropes. He kept his composure though, but I saw it all in his face. He had that face where his operating system rebooted. You know what I'm saying? That shit is yeah. And then he gave me a concussion the next week. So right? I took that nigga out the game for a couple seconds. That nigga took me out the game permanently. My neuropsychologist like, nigga, if you go back in that ring, nigga, I'm gonna beat your ass. hey, he didn't say it like that. He said it in an Anglo-Saxon kind of way, but he basically said if you get your ass back in that ring, we're gonna have to have a talk.
Oh yeah, you might have to reevaluate your life insurance policy if you get.
He said, if you go back in that ring, we're gonna have fisticuffs ourselves, Mr. J." I'm like, okay, you gonna beat my ass, don't you? This you said, doctor, gonna beat my ass. That's how I talk. That's how we talk in my neighborhood.
Oh God, bro.
All right, well, see y'all later. Have a wonderful Monday and peace.